I'm just gonna continue to film random clips and throw them together and see what happens. But I'm so like kind of heartbroken, but really it's just change, so I have to figure it out. But Butts and Guts class is the one that I go to every Tuesday and Thursday, and it starts at 5:30. I work a few minutes away from the gym, so I get off at 5. I change really quick. I always make it here by 5:30. Well, they announced today that starting next week, they're going to start it at 6, because apparently more people want to come, but they can't get there by 5:30. And I'm like, the reason it's because I feed my family. I'm in charge of feeding them because my husband doesn't know how to. And if it starts at 6, that means I won't be getting home until around 7, which means I need to have dinner figured out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, at least to a point where my husband can throw something in the oven and they have it done by the time I get home or something. This is difficult. Anyways, I have the rest of the week to figure that out. I really don't want to lose my habit of this class because 1, it's challenging, and 2, it's teaching me things like proper ways of squatting and all of that. And it's part of my routine that's been successful for me, and I don't want to lose it. So big feelings right now. Big feelings. That's all. Yep. If this isn't a sign of how my day is going. One of the parts I like least about my job is escalated situations, and today was that. I would just rather not. I would rather not. Anyways. Also, like the soap in my windshield wiper cleaner thingy, out. And whatever that goose, bird, hawk ate, it's full of fiber. It is not leaving my window. So if they could just rain, a good hard rain now, I am open to it. Bring it on. It is needed. Okay, well, I'm going to pick up Finn, and it is Wednesday. It feels like it should be Thursday. Tomorrow is a weigh-in day for me, so I'm looking forward to it. I've been a good girl, packing my food and just staying on track with my goals, going to the gym and making sure I'm getting my steps. It's just been a really good week for that, so I'm expecting results. Brian was asking me the other day about, like, not asking me, but like, we're both in a weight loss journey together, right? So he was just talking about plateauing. He's like, I wonder where you're gonna plateau at. And I was telling him, like, I've been consistently losing over 1 pound to 2 pounds a week. There was one week that I lost less than 1 pound, but it made sense to me because I wasn't consistent that whole week. I ate out more and ate higher calories, things like that. So it made sense to me. I'm like, so if I have a week that I'm working hard and I don't have the weight loss, then that will be like my first indicator that I'm plateauing. And he was like, no, you can't use that data off of 1 week. And then he was telling me how people can get inflamed and do all this hard work and 1 week not lose anything, and then the next week lose double because they were inflamed, their body was holding on to water, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, but I just feel like everybody's bodies are different. Clearly everybody's like has different reactions, rhythms, patterns. That's why different diets work for different people or different activity levels, whatever it is. So I feel like I know my body pretty well. The only time that I've noticed weight like retain or be difficult is when it's my period week. But even since I've done the calorie deficit thing, I've been losing during my period. So I don't know. I'm doing it right, I think, but I don't know when I will plateau. I feel like in the past, my plateaus have been hard to measure because I've never been consistent. I've never been like doing the same thing over and over and over again. I've always been like, well, I think I'm going to try this. And that has been tempting to do because I've already thought, well, I've gotten my appetite down pretty low to where I feel like maybe I don't need to measure my food. I have a pretty good idea of what I could be eating every day and how to mix things up and not necessarily count things item by item. But I know that that's a slippery slope because over time I will allow myself more. I don't have great memory. I've always struggled with memory, especially for things like eating. Like I could easily eat a granola bar and 2 hours later totally forget about eating the granola bar and then not even count that, 200 calories that I ate, stuff like that. So I can't go down that slippery slope. I must stay on track. So, anywho, I don't know when I plateau because usually in the past, it's not that I plateaued, it's that I switched things up and I convinced myself that I could no longer lose the weight. But that wasn't necessarily true.
You got it. Just make sure you're breathing out. That's all that matters. Well, and good form, but mostly breathing. You got it. Halfway there. A great song to close it out. 10 seconds. You got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You did it! Good job, ladies. You put in that work. That's what you're feeling right now.
Good morning, basically afternoon. It is Friday, August, I don't know. I work from home most Fridays, so I got my booty out of my desk. It's my lunch break and I'm going for a walk. Yesterday, I ate like a trash panda because I wanted to. And I got to eat the queso burger, which you'll see that video probably before this. And I had Mexican food last night with a couple of beers and it was lovely. I even ate donuts in the morning. This morning I had a McDonald's breakfast burrito and a normal Dutch Brothers coffee. Tonight we're having a garden of olives, aka Olive Garden. And then I'm done. I'm done being crazy. But I still need to keep moving because I don't want to completely break all my habits these couple of days of just being. I've done really good though with my weight loss and I really am at a midpoint. I have so much more I want to lose. So I gotta keep on trucking. And part of that is getting my 10,000 steps at least in a day. So I love this little walkway area, by the way. This house here has like plants that come into the sidewalk and it just feels for a moment special and then you're back on the street. I've had a little bit on my mind, so Ryan and I have really been talking about moving. What would that look like with today's rates? How we would go about doing it. And he made a financial suggestion that makes a lot of sense. And for some reason, it's just, I'm stubborn, but I need to really consider it because it does make sense. his idea was, Raina, if you think we can afford that higher mortgage that we're gonna pay for the houses that you want to live in, why don't you start putting that money aside, and then once you do that, see how living feels, and you could use that money that you've put aside to pay off some of our debts. So it's not for naught. We get to feel what it would actually feel like with a higher mortgage. You know, where are we cutting in our lifestyle for that? And, you know, is it easy or is it difficult? And I'm like, that man and his suggestions. That's a really good one. But like, I'm just so difficult. I'm like, I don't want to live a hard life for what feels like nothing, but it's not nothing because you're paying off things. My brain is so difficult. So part of me is thinking about sitting down this weekend, writing out, you know, all of how we've been spending money, which means I would need to go through our bank statements and see like how much money goes to Amazon, how much money goes towards gas, how much money goes towards groceries, like break things down to figure out what we would need to stop, where we would need to do differently, and then apply that. So then I can be more structured with our income and outgoing and figure out what living that way looks like. Ryan and I together, I want to say we make around 11 or 12 a month, which sounds like so much. It is, but somehow it never feels like that. So then I go back to, well, what is our outgoing? What are we doing? Do we have foolish memberships we're paying for? I know that when I grocery shop, I just shop, pick out the things and come home, which I know is such a blessing because I'm not stressed about it. Brad and I work really hard jobs. We have showed up to our work, done the things, exhausted ourselves and put in the hours, and like that shows because of our growth in our companies and where we're at. But it's hard work. Like sometimes Ryan and I come home and we are just mentally tapped because our to-do lists are so long and so scattered and we're in charge of so many things that yeah, we pay for that. It's not like a physically draining job. It's definitely mentally taxing. We deal with lots of deadlines. Our actions directly impact others, and we're responsible for other people's actions, and that carries a lot of weight as far as stress. Anyways, all that to say, I feel like we could afford, you know, a house payment that comes to close to $4 a month. I also have to keep in mind though, with bigger houses, electricity bills go up, right? The water bills could go up. So there are other things that go up. It's not just paying more in the house. Same with taxes. So there's just a lot there. So when I say we could spend up to $4, it's more than that, right? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you guys up my nose. So anyways, I don't know if anybody else are in these conversations of like looking at their next chapters. I'm gonna flip you guys. You won't notice because I will edit, but maybe my head will be on the other side because this arm is tired. There we go, that's better. I'm sure other people are in different chapters of their lives where they're like thinking about the next 5 years, their personal goals. What do they want? What is possible? Ryan and I talk a lot about, what if we stay and we put money into the house? What does that look like? Are we going to be happy? Or are we just putting money into something and we're never fully going to be happy where we're at? I also look at 5 years down the road, like, what does our property look like at that point as far as the neighborhoods growing around us? They've talked about, you know, putting a casino down the road, which is going to dramatically change the way traffic is. And they've talked about building more apartments, and we already have so many apartments around us, and the schools are full, and they just keep cramming more kids in. So I think about that stuff. I think about us being on the busy road and how much more traffic there will be. I think about how when places grow, crime grows. I think about all of that. Those are things outside of our control. And no matter how nice we make it look inside our house, am I going to be happy with where we're at? So it's just a loaded topic, and it involves a lot. So I think the first thing I really need to do is like have a realistic financial understanding of, you know, where we're at, and then figure out from that point our values. Ryan likes the idea, you know, of us having a place where if one of us loses a job, you know, we have a house still. And I understand that thinking, but it feels so unfair to work as hard as we do and not be 100% content where we're at. And the house prices are coming down, but like the mortgages, holy smokes. Ryan and I only pay $1,600 something a month. And for a nicer house, we're now looking at close to $4,000. That's crazy. We would have some down payment to bring that down, but regardless, it's crazy. I feel like for the houses that I'm interested in, it shouldn't be more than $25,000. It shouldn't be. So anyways, this is the merry-go-round that I've been on for the last year. And I need to start taking action and understanding things better and getting Ryan and I on the same page. So anyways, that's what's on my brain today. Wonderful food, moving my body, you know, letting my grit and determination that I've applied to myself to then shift some of that towards our home and our family, because I know what I'm capable of, you know, all that stuff. So anyways, it's kind of a lengthy clip on my walk today, but just wanted to share what was on my heart and my mind. And hope you guys are doing well, and that, I don't know, you're figuring it out, because I am too. I feel like I have 5,000 clips and no outro. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching my random collage of clips of life, because when I go back to put this video together, I literally don't remember anything. So it'll be very exciting to see what I shared with you guys in this video and how it comes together. So anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Love always. Bye.